The Bundesliga is celebrating Christmas all over the world.
Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Und Feliz Natal.
Schönen Dank, Frohe Weihnachten.
Fijn feestdag.
Enjoy our next YouTube Advent Calendar video.
Hello and a very warm welcome, as always, to the Bundesliga, the home of the world champions. Today, a very warm welcome indeed to Oktoberfest. Yes, indeed. Referee for today's game, Tobias Stieler, picks up the torn fabric from its pedestal. No mucking about this evening, it's a school night. The mascots will be, no doubt, very quickly off home after the game. Pep Guardiola up the steps with his traditional 2 bottles of water and a warm handshake from his rival today, Dieter Hecking. And as I mentioned before, Dante getting a bunch of flowers from Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. 133 games for Bayern. 8 assists and 5 goals. Something he'll never forget, his time at Bayern. The handshakes. Quite a few ex-teammates out there as well. Luis Gustavo, of course, had his time at Bayern. Mario Götze still looking for that elusive goal. Bastos can't seem to stop scoring goals at the moment. Referees' assistants today, Patrick Ittrich and Sascha Thielert. The 2 captains, Lahm and Vanalio, Philipp Lahm and Diego Vanalio, getting the handshakes worked out in the end. Sascha Thielert on the left, the ref's assistant. Patrick Ittrich on the right. Tobias Stieler, the man in charge, with Mike Pickle as the 4th official. So the home team get things underway. Their first home game during Oktoberfest. It's Bayern against Wolfsburg. It's Matchday 6. It's the midweek games, the Englische Woche, the English week. I'm Phil Bonney if you're just joining us after the kickoff. This one is a mouth-watering prospect. Second against third. Bayern 4 points in front of Wolfsburg in the white and green, kicking from right to left. The 2 best defences in the Bundesliga. Both of them only conceding 2 goals so far in the opening 5 games. This has got all the hallmarks of possibly being one of the great games of the season. Let's hope it is. Caligiuri losing out. Xabi Alonso getting it away from Daniel Caligiuri. David Alaba, who got some very nice words about him from his coach recently, saying he could go on to become one of the great centre-backs in the game. Juan Bernat. Mario Götze. Wolfsburg never managed to take all 3 points away from Munich before, but But they have had some luck against them, or some success against them, rather, in the last couple of games. Beat Bayern on penalties in the Super Cup before the season really got going. And last season on Matchday 18. They beat Bayern 4-1 in Wolfsburg. Douglas Costa, who's added a little bit of extra firepower to the Bayern attack. Before those two victories, Wolfsburg had 8 consecutive defeats. Touched on. Dost will leave that. He had a quick look around to see who was with him. Opted to leave it for the throw. There's Gustavo. To the other ex-Bayern player, Dante. Kuza touches it off. He has moved into the centre. Thiago has the ball hassled away from him by Caligiuri. Both these teams on their best start to a Bundesliga season, their second best start to a Bundesliga season ever. 15 points and a 15-2 goal record after 5 games is only beaten by the 2012-2013 treble-winning campaign. First free kick awarded to the home sides. He thought he got to the ball. Costa. Rodriguez just left a foot in there. That was enough to deflect the ball away. Mario Götze very keen to get a goal. He hasn't had a goal in 16 Bundesliga games. 1 assist. Got one in the Champions League last week. It's a useful nod on. Draxler, Wolfsburg's new signing, came in to take over the hole where De Bruyne had departed from. Manuel Neuer's first real touch of the ball. Both sides, in the first 5 minutes, fairly cagey with each other, as you'd expect. And Bayern have got 15 points from their first 5 games. Wolfsburg with 11. 2004-2005 season they had 12 points at this stage. That's the only season that was better for them. Thiago. Bernat. The referee had a little look at that, didn't blow the whistle. Götze plays the 1-2 with Bernat. Bernat didn't really look up. That was easy for the Wolfsburg defence. Kuza wants that ball back. Nice flowing stuff from Wolfsburg. Draxler gets it under control straight away. Oh, he might fancy going all the way, but he'd have to get past Xabi Alonso to do that. Alonso, far too experienced to let Draxler go through. Although Wolfsburg actually, in terms of age, are the more experienced team. Diego Bonalio, who's not conceded in all three of his competitive games so far this season, was not going to be beaten from there. Dante. Dost muscled off the ball by Vidal. Bayern have won 20 and drawn 1 of 21 competitive games here against Wolfsburg. Both of them unbeaten this season, which makes them cautious too. Lam saw that one coming. Douglas Costa, dangerous for Wolfsburg, but they've hooked it away. Luis Gustavo putting it out. There's always no moment really that Pep Guardiola hasn't got something to impart to his team. He's very active as a coach. Some coaches like Thomas Schaaf just sit there impassive, soaking everything up, making notes in their head. Others like Pep Guardiola are very much more involved. Kick nearly every ball along with the player who's kicking it. Good, so nice little ball inside for Bernat. Back to his keeper. At the moment, Wolfsburg finding it a little difficult to get out of their own half. The referee allows play to continue. Only just for a second though. There's a little bit of holding. A little bit too intense there, Luis Gustavo. Well, it must be very fresh for Dante. He's only been gone a couple of weeks. Looks as if it'll be Alonso. One of the easier catches that Bonalio will have made over the last few games. Completely uncontested. Bayern without Mehdi Benatia. That thigh muscle injury keeping him out. Ribéry and Robin, of course, with their ankle and their groin. Barnstuber and Kirchhoff. Holger Barnstuber and Jan Kirchhoff both on their way back to fitness, but not quite sure when we'll see them in the squads. Wolfsburg without Koen Casteels. He's got a toe that's given him a little bit of a problem. And Varinia has a thigh injury. Guilavogui tried to just poke that one through. Just disappeared into a sea of red shirts. was well closed down by Max Kruse. Bayern have to think about it and come again. Vidal got one last time out against Darmstadt from distance. That's obviously giving him even more faith in himself. Benalio able to see that one coming from a long way out. A little bit of skill from Draxler. An eye on Max Kruse in the centre, see how he does. It was up to this point only on Matchday 2 in Cologne. And he was out on the right and it didn't do him much good. Draxler can play on the left outside or on the right if he needs to. Giving away a foul again. That ball too long for Douglas Costa. That was a little bit nervy. Can Wolfsburg profit from it? Here is Kruse, he's about to get ambushed by Vidal. The back pass from Guy Lavogui was just a little bit more than Benalio was expecting. Draxler. Well, Vidal thought he dived over his leg. Referee did award the free kick, but I think Draxler made it look a little bit worse than it was. But Vidal has got that reputation of being a bit of a hothead. Boateng, good eye for Goetze. Bernat on the overlap. That ball needed to be pushed just a little bit harder. Oh, good fast feet from Bernat. Wolfsburg trying to play it their way, but they're playing themselves into trouble if they're not careful. You can't afford to make any mistakes when you're playing Bayern in that particular area of the field. But at the moment, Wolfsburg doing what they said they wanted to do, and that is hold their own against Bayern. Dieter Hecking was saying earlier on in the week that they know they're not on the same level. They've got some way to go to get anywhere near to that. But they do feel that they can make a lasting impression. Good, so that's a glorious little ball for Thomas Müller. Well, Thomas Müller hasn't really popped up at all in this game so far. Joint top scorer in the Bundesliga. But that was an exquisite pass from Mario Götze. Thomas Müller just warming up the shooting boots, it seems. He spent last weekend pretty much on the bench. Did come on towards the end of the game, but there wasn't really time for him to score. All the way way things were going. It was just to keep his legs ticking over, keep him fresh. Some players, it's important that they are played regularly, especially with Champions League games happening as well. Rodriguez does well, keeping that away from Costa. So, a few stats as we say virtually every weekend. Bayern leading the possession and shots as well today. Vidal. A little bit of luck for Wolfsburg. Muller and Thiago trying to combine. Now a chance to catch Bayern on the break. Draxler has to wait for support. Daniel Caligiuri's out on the right wing, looks up. That's a great ball through! Julian Draxler could have stunned the Oktoberfest crowds. Costa to Muller. Surrounded by white shirts, that of course leaves people free. Lahm, Costa, no look pass to Vidal. He'll go from distance if he can. He's been closed down by all those white shirts. There's a firm hand behind that. Good stop from Diego Benaglio. Costa just warming up the shooting boots. Lovely layback to him as well. Meanwhile, at the other end, first real sign of danger from Wolfsburg. Draxler wasn't that far away from that. He just needed to connect with the smallest amount of studs, and that would have been a goal. Draxler with not the greatest record against Bayern. 6 times he's played them. 1 point. They were all for Schalke, of course. Iron Robin there, arms folded. Would much rather be on the pitch. Caligiuri won't be able to keep that one too on target. Ran away from him virtually the whole time, but Draxler's got it back under control for Wolfsburg. Luis Gustavo. Guilavogui. Guilavogui again to Naldo. Dost with his arm up in the centre. Flying clearance from Boateng. Only as far as Ricardo Rodriguez. Better spell from Wolfsburg. Very tenacious from Max Kruse. It's an excellent ball from Rodriguez. Draxler's cross met by Alaba. Guilavogui not afraid to come forward and mix it up front if the opportunity arises. Although he does generally stay further back. Both he and Luis Gustavo controlling the midfield from a Wolfsburg point of view. Costa somehow manages to keep that ball in. Wolfsburg unbeaten in 14 competitive games. The last time that Bayern lost one was that Super Cup that they lost on penalties to Wolfsburg, of course. Pushing that one back to Neuer. He's not got a lot of room at the moment. Whenever they do that, Wolfsburg very aware of the fact that Bayern like to use Neuer as an extra player, as it were. Muller waving his arms, wanting his colleagues to push up the field, put more pressure on the back four of Wolfsburg. Alonso's pass left Bernat a little bit of room to run into, but he couldn't get it under control. No shrinking and pulling back in the tackles, that's for sure, in this one. Koza. Dost. That's a nice little ball, but just a little bit too short. Philipp Lahm getting in the way. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge on the right with plenty to say. Here's another one that seems to be heading and kicking every ball as it comes. Ricardo Rodriguez penalised. He did really bulldoze Douglas Costa to the floor. Costa's had a great first 5 games in the Bundesliga, 3 assists and 1 goal. Muller. Given no time at all by Dante. Kosa just jumps with Boateng, Draxler, Caligiuri. There's good stuff. Chance for shot for Caligiuri. Oh, he's buried it in the back of the net. It popped up just beautifully for Daniel Caligiuri. And the brilliant news for Wolfsburg is that every time Caligiuri has scored a goal, they've won. What an absolute stunner from the Wolfsburg number 7. It sat up just right for him, and he can give it all the power of his right leg in his 150th Bundesliga game. There is no better way to seal it than with a goal of that quality. Manuel Neuer with, it's an old haggard phrase, but really no chance at all. The power on that and the speed beating the finest keeper in the world. And Dieter Hecking, quite rightly, with an air punch. Boateng. Vidal to Costa. That will certainly give Wolfsburg another surge. They know that Bayern can be beaten because they've done it themselves the last couple of occasions that they've met. Lewandowski in the centre there, flanked by Javi Martinez and Rafinha. There's Coman and Joshua Kimmich. Warder, Sebastian Warder, and Sven Ulreich was there as well. A little early possibly for thoughts of a tactical substitution, but you never know with Pep Guardiola. Draxler taking his time. Could have taken a little bit more time and got the pass a little bit more accurate. But Bayern certainly were in control for the first 20 minutes. Wolfsburg were having trouble getting out of their own half, but all of a sudden they've woken up, trusting themselves just a little bit more to make forays into the opposition half. Alaba coming forward. Götze did very well to keep possession. That is, of course, always the problem when you score a goal against Bayern. It can have the effect of taking a large stick to a hornet's nest. Caligiuri bringing down Götze after that nice little bit of skill that took the ball away from Tresch. Alaba's left foot. Or will it be Alonso? It's the second time this season that Wolfsburg have scored with their first shot of the game. That was the first one they had on target. Bayern with something from the training ground now, perhaps. They have a penchant for well-worked free kicks. That one's dropped kindly to Costa. Good save, Diego Benaglio. 2 clean sheets in the 2 league games that he's had so far. That one popped up quite invitingly for Douglas Costa. Boateng lurking. But there's some big fellas in the Wolfsburg defence as well. Naldo at 198. That'll be a throw into Bayern. Well, Patrick Idrich will be talking to Tobias Stieler on his headset. A little unnecessary from both players. Xabi Alonso knows exactly what he was doing. Since the beginning of last season, Wolfsburg haven't lost any games when they've gone a goal up. But that is, of course, just a statistic. Whether or not it'll be true after this game is another matter. This is Thiago. Douglas Costa into the box. And Naldo in the right place at the right time. Bayern pushing back. Wolfsburg would do well to take a little bit of the fizz out of this game at the moment, if they're to hang on to that narrowest of leads, find themselves very firmly in their own half again. Rodriguez gets his body in the way. It's a good pass from Dante. Been revitalised since his arrival. That was well kept in by Christian Tresch as well. Wolfsburg doing everything right at the moment. Draxler, there's a lot of room in front of him. He's all on his own. He might as well have a shot. And he did exactly that. And he knows Manuel Neuer, of course, from the national team. In fact, there's quite a few players out on the pitch that played in the semi-final, Brazil against Germany. This time it's Caligiuri on the floor. Well, Wolfsburg coach Dieter Hecking was quoted earlier on in the week as saying that the atmosphere in the Allianz Arena is not as spicy as it might be. And I can tell you there's quite some volume behind the fans at the moment. Alaba just waiting for Max Kruse. Caligiuri can do no wrong at the moment. Push of adrenaline that scoring a goal gives you. Lets you run harder, faster. Shake of the head from Dominic Torrent there, wondering what sort of changes Bayern will make tactically about an hour after the break. Let's have a little look at the tackles. Wolfsburg getting stuck in just a little bit more than Bayern. side with more touches of the ball. But that's not a stat that'll surprise anyone. It was actually Matchday 6 last season when Xabi Alonso became Mr. Most Touches in the Bundesliga since they started counting those sort of things. 216 touches of the ball in one game. That was well played by Götze. That was well read by Christian Streich. He's not scored in the Bundesliga since 2011. That was when he was with Stuttgart. Claimed with ease. There's Manuel Neuer and the sweeper keeper. He could find himself in trouble here. Guilavoghi's gone for the long one. Is it going to drop right? Oh, so close. So very, very close. Manuel Neuer said this season he would be taking more risks. And it's a role he relishes, but it does have its dark side. If he does get into trouble, the goal is very wide and very open. And Guilavoghi, who's got a 91.9% pass accuracy so far this season, couldn't pass the ball into the back of the net, albeit from a very long way out. Concentrated look on Thiago's face. Nodded on by Dost and headed away by Luis Gustavo. Touched away by Draxler. He wanted that ball back if possible. Boateng, nice idea. Götze trying to get it down and get it under control. Bonalio's been doing everything right this afternoon, or this evening rather, as well. It does seem that Wolfsburg have woken up to the fact that they can take it to Bayern if they want to. They certainly have got the quality. Sometimes it's a matter of confidence. Nice curl on that ball. Went exactly where Costa wanted it to. Just about 5 minutes to go to half-time. Stand up if you're a Bayern fan, is what the fans are singing. Draxler again. He's got support from Klose, but he's going to have to wait. Too many red shirts. Luis Gustavo. Max Klose. And this time it's Wolfsburg that are shoveling the ball around. Bayern are forcing them back into their own half. As the Bayern fans once again get into full Oktoberfest swing. Something to chase for Caligiuri. Bernat didn't get there first though, Caligiuri. That's going to be a card, surely. There is the card. First one of the game. 150th Bundesliga game. A goal and a yellow card. It's all happening for Daniel Caligiuri. This is the mistake, if you can call it that, from Neuer. And to be very fair to him, Guilavoghi hit the post That's how close that was. And he had very little time to take that shot before he was closed down. I think he did very well. Vidal to Costa. Bernat will play the 1-2, but he's slipped. Götze and he have been doing that quite a lot this evening, playing the 1-2 between them. Up to this point, it's worked quite well. Just a couple of match days ago, Bayern went to goal down against Augsburg. They came back to win it, albeit through a fairly soft penalty. 1-0 is a very, very thin lead, as we all know. Naldo brought down by Thiago. No hard feelings. Wolfsburg really looking to continue where they left off in January, getting to the ball really quickly, not giving Bayern anywhere to go. Vogie finding himself in a good position. Max Kruse has shown far too much of that to Boateng. But this is indicative of the pressure that Wolfsburg have been able to bring to bear on Bayern. They've got their first corner of the game, albeit just a minute before the end of the first half. But in comparison with the first 20 minutes, Wolfsburg doing very much better. A goal up through Daniel Caligiuri. Dante was the target. Costa will want to use his speeds. There was a very good foot in there from a Wolfsburg player, and that kept it from causing any damage. Gila Vogie's found himself further up front again than he normally likes to hang around in. 1 minute of time to be added on. As if by magic, Mike Pickle appears with the board with 1 minute on it. Well, if it stays 1-0 at half-time, Wolfsburg will go in with a very satisfied feeling. 47 games without a loss in the first half of the season for Bayern. That is the period up to Christmas and the winter break. Leverkusen were the last team to beat them in the first half of the season in October 2012, 2-1. Well, that is the end of the first half, and Wolfsburg go in a goal up. And that sets up an absolutely scintillating second half. Dieter Hecking will be very pleased, as will Manuel Neuer. Very pleased that that ball didn't go in. Still, no sign of a goal from Mario Götze. Plenty to happen here in the second half, though. Join me, Phil Bonney, again in a short time, and we'll see how this one ends. Bye for now. Hello, welcome back to the Allianz Arena. Substitution at half-time. Two of them. Robert Lewandowski for Thiago. And Javi Martinez onto the pitch as well. And he's coming on for Juan Barat. No substitutions for Wolfsburg. So if you're just joining us again after the restart, I'm Phil Bonney. I'll be with you through to the end of the game. Lewandowski and Martinez on now for Bayern, who are trailing by a goal to nil. Scored in the 26th minute by Daniel Caligiuri in his 150th Bundesliga game. But there's still plenty of time for more goals in this one. And to that end, Robert Lewandowski is now on the pitch. Bruised foot kept him out of the game against Darmstadt. Also resting him a little bit for this one, no doubt, after his exertions in the Champions League against Olympiacos. But Wolfsburg with the upper hand. They kept Bayern down to just 5 shots, all outside the box in the first half. Beautiful little ball from Costa to Alaba, and the one from Alonso wasn't bad either. Diego Bonalio's been there every time when it's been asked of him. Good foot in from Naldo. Dost loses out. Luis Gustavo. Kuza. Dante. Christian Tresch had his hand up. And he gets the ball. Gilavogi getting even further forwards. All part of this pressurising that Wolfsburg are trying to do. There it is again. Muller. Costa's gone for the run. Can he get past Naldo? Naldo held him down ever so slightly, and some of the fans thought that might have been worth a free kick. There certainly was contact. Referee was right there, though. Some players would go down under the slightest of touches. Vidal. Oh, the little touch on from Muller would have been nice. Very confident play from Wolfsburg. It's a neat ball from Luis Gustavo as well. Draxler. Tresch is his target. Tresch will have a go from here. Took a block. As I mentioned, he hasn't scored since 2011 in the Bundesliga, maybe. He thinks he's got nothing to lose. Matthias Sammer in the centre there. Very concentrated. Keeping an eye on the scoreline, but it's not changed. Sporting director of Bayern. Another one that will probably be in his head, kicking every ball as it comes. Throw from Costa to Vidal, back to Costa. Can he unlock this Wolfsburg defence, which currently is the best in the league? Vidal inside to Lewandowski. He can leave it, and he's not offside, but Costa had to take the ball. Sense of urgency to Bayern's play since the restart. Andre Schürrle warming up, along with Marcel Schäfer. Maximilian Arnold as well as the rest of them. Oh, Dost completely mistimed his jump. He got in trouble, did Bastos, with his coach for his reaction to being left out of the starting lineup last time out, although he did come off the bench and score 2 goals. Dante misses the pass into the feet of Vidal, then Thomas Müller, and it's in the back of the net from Robert Lewandowski, because that is what Robert Lewandowski does for a living. He gets to the right place at the right time, and albeit a bit of a bundled affair from Bayern, that is the equaliser. A shake of the head from Dante. Pep Guardiola passing on what he wants done now to Jerome Boateng. Götz's ball, and that was an exquisite back heel to Müller. And then the finish from Lewandowski with his first touch, I think, of the game. Well, there you go, 3 touches in the game. And here they come again. Oh, superb goal from distance. Lewandowski has shown exactly why he is one of the best in the business. Out of nothing, the Polish striker, with a deadly eye for goal, has turned this game around in the space of 6 minutes. Slight hint of offside, possibly. There was an appeal, but that was an inch-perfect shot. Bernalillo will be furious. He's done everything right in this game so far. Goals number 4 and 5 of the season in quick succession. What a player. And the critics out there will be wondering why they left him out at the beginning. Wolfsburg stunned. All we need now is a headed goal from Lewandowski to show he really is the complete player. We just might get one, you know. Inside the 6-yard box, outside the penalty area. He can do it all. That was well jumped by Guilavogui. Not enough on that ball to keep it away from Costa. Oh, there's a mistake, and Dost can't keep up. Now it's the back pass. Could have caused trouble. Well, if only that effort from Guilavogui had gone in earlier in the first half, that mistake that Neuer had, but now it's Thomas Müller. Müller making room for himself. Götze, Lewandowski for the hat-trick, off the post, Lewandowski again, and somehow he's put it in. Oh my word, this is one of Lewandowski's finest performances. A space of 10 minutes and 3 goals. That must be one of the fastest hat-tricks in the Bundesliga. Thomas Müller. Lewandowski's onside. One effort. He does it like Roda. But this time it's 3 instead of just the 2 that Sebastian Roda took against Darmstadt. Plays the 1-2 with the post. I'm sure he intended for that to happen. And eventually in the scramble, it's 3-1. Bayern fans around the world will remember this Oktoberfest. It's an October goal fest from Robert Lewandowski. Joint top goal scorer in the league now. What must Dieter Hecking be thinking? This is the kind of form that Bayern will be looking for in their upcoming Champions League games. They've got Zagreb as their next one after Mainz this coming weekend. And then it's the big one for them, the game against Dortmund. That's how they'll see it as well. A very big game indeed. Now this one's not necessarily a small one either. Costa. He's got the power, he's got the speeds. Oh, they haven't got it clear, and the ball's in the back of the net again. And yes, indeed, it is one Robert Lewandowski who's made it 4-1. I and Robert can't believe it. I don't think I can believe it. Wolfsburg fans certainly won't be able to believe it. I'm thinking we must be talking records now. 4 goals in the space of just over 10 minutes. And it just sat up beautifully. And once again, Diego Bernalillo, who's not put a foot wrong all day, is just not going to have a chance to stop that from that range, at that speed, and with that amount of power on the ball. Well, the last time, or the last 3 times that Wolfsburg have come here during Oktoberfest, they lost 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and Bayern are already up to 4. So by that reckoning, Wolfsburg have actually done 1 to score 1 at all. They've not lost here in at least 4 years when Oktoberfest is on. And this game has been turned on its head by one player. Luis Gustavo looks absolutely desolate. A shake of the head. What can you do? Maximilian Arnold onto the pitch. He's been brought on as a sub in his last 5 games. Super Bayern is what the fans are singing. And you can't help but agree if you've watched this game. But Wolfsburg will not give up. They will keep going, but they've had the living daylights scared out of them in the last, well, it's not even 15 minutes. Alaba's got his hand up, he'd like the ball. Lewandowski goes through it again. Oh, he just can't do it. You just cannot be that good. That is an amazing goal. Well, I don't know how many offers of marriage Robert Lewandowski's going to have, but Pep Guardiola is going to be one of them. He can't believe it either. The fastest hat-trick in the history of the Bundesliga. I think he's scored a goal every time he's had a shot at goal, virtually. Götze. And to be fair, Naldo should have been on the end of that. But he's clobbered that one right into the corner of the net to make it 5-1. And they've come undone a couple of times in the past few years, Wolfsburg. There's been a couple of 6-1s. There was one in the semi-final of the DFB Cup. And there was one at Wolfsburg, 2014 season. The referee will have to keep a little bit of an eye on this because Wolfsburg just might get a little bit cantankerous as they're receiving such a spanking on the field. Eight times he got on the ball, 6 shots on goal, and 4 of them went in, but that was as far as the statistic machine got before he scored another one. Costa showboating, that could get him into trouble. Lewandowski, Alaba won't get there. Bayern are having some fun at Wolfsburg's expense and courtesy of Lewandowski. The evening will belong to him, I can tell you now, although he's only been on the pitch just over 15 minutes. The man of the match for this evening's game is Robert Lewandowski. How do Wolfsburg pick themselves up in this game? We've seen them do it before when they stood toe-to-toe away at Leverkusen. Dost got quite a few of the goals on that occasion, and they pipped it 5-4, but Bayern have already got 5. Wolfsburg would be forgiven for feeling a little bit deflated. Michael Tönnies against Oliver Kahn scored the fastest hat-trick previously. In 5 minutes for Duisburg against Karlsruhe. That was back in the days when Oli Kahn was at Karlsruhe. Here they come again. Here he is again. This time he's trying to set someone else up. Benaglio came for it and got it in the end. Only one person has ever scored 5 in a Bundesliga game before. A certain Mr. Dieter Hoeneß in February 1984 for Bayern against Braunschweig, and that took him 21 minutes. So he's a slow coach in comparison to Lewandowski. And I might have mentioned earlier about Robert Lewandowski taking offers of marriage. I think he actually is already married, so nobody need apply, not even Pep Guardiola. Joking aside, this is one of those games that will go down in the annals of history. People in the crowd today will tell their grandchildren at the time they saw Lewandowski put 5 past Wolfsburg. Arnold. Well, it was hopeful, and he didn't strike it as well as he'd have liked. Well, according to a little voice in my ear, 9 minutes, 5 goals. That'll take some beating. In the Premier League, Southampton's Sadio Mane got 3 in about as many minutes. But even he's a beginner when it comes to the big numbers, of which Bayern are very fond. Records, records, and more records. It's not for nothing they're called the record champions. There was a little nudge from Guy Lavogui. I get a slight sense that the referee, Tobias Stieler, was being a little generous to Wolfsburg at that point. Some refs might have given that. They'll certainly give that one. Now they're not happy with Caligiuri. Another little factoid for you. No substitute in the history of the Bundesliga has ever scored more than 3 goals in a game. Robert Lewandowski could go home now. I still get the feeling that Bayern would win. It's just one of those games. It's not that Wolfsburg have played badly. They've played very well. It's just that Robert Lewandowski has been in the form of his life. Alonso. Here they come again. Götze. Good stop by Benalio. Muller. A gentle one. Well, Thomas Muller has been knocked down the rankings as well, he went into this game as top scorer in the Bundesliga jointly with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But he's well behind Robert Lewandowski. In just 9 minutes. It's the slightly rustic challenge from Maximilian Arnold. And all of a sudden, from being under a lot of pressure, you get the feeling that Bayern are just playing for fun. Muller had his hand up. He'd quite like a goal himself today, I'm fairly sure. This is Alaba. Muller's attacking the back post. Who's that? Robert Lewandowski? Of course it is. This time the shot blocked, though. Lahm, they still haven't got it clear. There's Muller waiting for it. Naldo's in the way. Maximilian Arnold heads it on. Alonso back towards the box. Rodriguez will try and keep that one away from Mario Götze and has succeeded. Well, I don't think I could take it if he scores 2 or 3 more, Lewandowski, today, but it's possible. I'm wondering whether or not Pep Guardiola will take him off, just to make sure he's all right for the upcoming games. Don't want to use up too much of that talent all in one go. Clearance. Poor old Dante's been on the losing side the last couple of times that these sides have met, and it looks like he's going to be on the losing side again today. 20 minutes to play. 5-1 to Bayern. This also throws down the gauntlet to Dortmund, of course, because it's all about goal difference at the moment. It means they have to win and they have to score a few in their game. Which, of course, is tomorrow away at Hoffenheim. The pressure is certainly being applied by Bayern. Well, just to get my facts right, because they're rushing at me left, right and centre here, there's actually a player that has scored 6 goals in one game, and that was Dieter Müller in 1977. Köln against Bremen. This also shows all the other clubs, the ones in the Champions League and the rest of the ones in the Bundesliga, just what they're dealing with. Dante knows exactly what he's dealing with. Collided with Lewandowski. This will become a legendary game. Well, that's a good ball through, but Caligiuri just had his run timed slightly different. So, substitution. Young Mr. Kimmich being briefed. He had a very good game against Darmstadt as well. Götze has gone down. This is Müller. Guess who's waiting in the centre? Oh, Costa had come in, and Müller didn't look up. Yellow card for that challenge on Mario Götze earlier. Referee allowing play to continue. It's his first yellow card of the season, Rodriguez. Nice Kruse. Draxler. They need something very spectacular, Wolfsburg. Caligiuri. Draxler. Got nothing to lose, might as well have a go. Didn't connect with the ball. Did the hard part. Carved a little bit of room for himself out of very little. Well, if you're just joining us, I'm afraid you've missed the first part of the Robert Lewandowski show. Good news is there's still a quarter of an hour left to play. which is enough time for him to score 5 goals or so. Kruse with some good movement into space. Arnold. Perfect takedown from Draxler. Now it's Wolfsburg that are finding themselves without a lot of room when they get the ball. Dost heads it on, but sadly for Wolfsburg, just behind Daniel Caligiuri. Wolfsburg looking to make a double substitution. Schürrle and Bentner standing on the sidelines, waiting to come on. But I doubt very much that they'll have the same kind of impact on the game that the double substitution of Martinez and Lewandowski had. Here's Alaba. Here's Costa. Are we going to see another one? No, good block from Tresch. So now the substitution for Bayern can be made. Alonso will make way for Kimmich. Accurate passing is what to expect from Joshua Kimmich. Xabi Alonso played his part in this. Maturity, experience, exactly what you need in a team. Youth and hunger, another one. So Bastos makes way for the cult figure of Niklas Bentner. I can't believe it is what Max Kruse said. And for him, Andre Schürrle, 1 goal in 27 competitive games for Wolfsburg. Now might be a time to add to that total. Well, Robert Lewandowski showed the definition of what an impact player is in this game. Can they have anything like the impact that Lewandowski's had? Schürrle's first touch. Well, that scoops it over the top. Lewandowski blocked. Dante just threw everything he had in front of him. Cheeky little flick over the top from Thomas Müller. Dante just holding himself as broad as he could as he went in to block that. So the youngster with the corner. And there's plenty of red shirts waiting for the ball, but I don't think that was quite what young Joshua Kimmich had in mind. As I mentioned before, he had a very good game against Darmstadt, as did Sebastian Rode. Vidal wins the ball. I get the feeling that if the final whistle were to go now, Wolfsburg wouldn't be too adverse to that happening. And apparently over the opening weekend of Oktoberfest, they drank about 1 million litres of beer here in Munich. And I dare say they'll be drinking a few more this evening to celebrate. And I'm willing to put money on every second toast having a Polish striker's name attached to it. Alaba. Just getting ready to take that one down. Quiet game from Philipp Lahm today. Mind you. Oh, that's a late tackle. That's a late tackle from Vidal. Yellow card. He complains. It didn't look particularly malicious. It just looked really badly timed. $1,610 days between his last 2 Bundesliga goals. That one from distance against Darmstadt last weekend. Guilavogui is in a little bit of trouble. Too many red shirts. Kept in. Great little back heel from Douglas Costa. And his first touch, for once, let him down. Really a lot of lovely little flicks and touches from the Brazilian so far in this game. Bentner. Bayern win the offside appeal. Bayern with a huge amount of touches as usual. They've turned the tackling table around on Wolfsburg. Dost has been almost a shadow in this game. No shots on goal. Dost hasn't even set up a shot for somebody else on goal, mind you. For Wolfsburg, it's been few and far between in this second half. Poor first touch there from Andre Schürrle. Caligiuri with a little flick on. So that's obviously why Dieter Hecking swapped Dost for Bentner. Scores elsewhere in the Bundesliga. Being shown on the board here. I will not give the game away. Muller couldn't control that one. Bayern fans starting to check their watches. Sometimes scoring first just doesn't do you any favours. Bayern came back twice after going 1-0 down. They won those games and it looks like they're going to win this one too, unless something very strange happens. But they really did reap the whirlwind, Wolfsburg, when they scored that goal. 26 minutes into the first half. Daniel Caligiuri's statistic of winning the games where he scores goes out the window. Or rather than, I think it was the last 6 games that he scored in, rather than all games. He scored more than that, of course, in the Bundesliga. It'll be very interesting to see Lewandowski's hit rate and heat map after this game. And the Bayern players know exactly what to do every time they get the ball anywhere near the penalty area. To look for Lewandowski because he's on fire. Although he's had a quiet half an hour, here he comes again. Looking for the offside. Not going to get it. Leaves it for Muller. Oh, always rising. Lewandowski has scored nearly as many goals in one 9-minute period than Thomas Muller has in the first 6 games of the season. Klaus Allof's on the right there. Sporting director of Wolfsburg shaking his head. Dieter Hecking on the far left was, well, fairly unemotional, in fact. Second half. You can see from the tackling statistics, Bayern just not giving anything up. They no doubt had a very stern talking to at half-time from Pep Guardiola. The fact that Lewandowski was the catalyst that brought it all together. He's a player with the kind of skills that can motivate a team. And he did just that. After the second goal, you could see Bayern were flying. It was Holger Badstuber in the hand you just caught a glimpse of. It seems like ages since we've seen him on the field, but he is on his way back to fitness, I'm reliably informed. Kimmich. It was a delightfully weighted pass to Mario Götze from Kimmich. And the referee has decided that there is no point in continuing with this game after Robert Lewandowski has destroyed Wolfsburg in the space of 9 minutes. The final score, from the Allianz Arena. Robert Lewandowski 5, Wolfsburg 1. It is, of course, a team game, and it's the effort put in by his teammates and himself that has rewarded the fans this evening. A desperate defeat for Wolfsburg, who at half-time looked good for their 1-0 lead. They looked as if they knew how to handle the threat that was Bayern, but then, well, you can try and out-coach Pep Guardiola, but there aren't many people that can probably actually do it. Klaus Allofs will probably be philosophical. Wolfsburg didn't play that badly. The second half was just dominated by Bayern and Robert Lewandowski. A lot of shaking of the heads. They weren't that bad, but the score is that high because Lewandowski is that good. I hope you can join me, Phil Bonnet, next time for more thrills, spills and action from the Bundesliga. I'll leave you with the celebrations of Robert Lewandowski, Bayern München and their fans. Bye for now.
Hello? Yes, you. Where are you going?
The Bundesliga on YouTube.
Subscribe now.
Football as it's meant to be.